Welcome back to the second part for lecture 1. In this part, we'll be discussing about contemporary psychological perspectives. Means that in the current times, what are different psychological perspectives that are in trend. Perspective means the way to explain a phenomena or the approach to explain a phenomena. For example, there's a psychological phenomena, there's a happening that that you punched someone in the face. Okay, this thing happened, and now someone is interested to explain this behavior of yours. He tries to find out the cause. He wants an explanation of this behavior, that why this might have occurred, why you did this. So there are many perspectives which can be used to explain this behavior. There are many approaches and there are many ways. For example, it can be biological, cognitive, psychoanalytic, subjectivist, or behavioral. Okay, so we'll be explaining each of these with reference to this example. So first one is biological perspective. From biological perspective, the person will try to understand this behavior of yours by finding out that what is wrong with your nervous system. Is there anything wrong with the balance of chemicals in your brain, or some structure of your brain, or there is some hormonal imbalance that led you to punch someone in the face. Similarly, behavioral perspective deals with how you have learned this behavior, okay, from the past. Conditioning means that you have associated this behavior with another behavior or any other thing. For example, you might have associated the aggressive behavior with the positive outcome. You always, whenever you have behaved aggressively in past, you have achieved your goal. You have unconsciously associated aggressive behavior with the goal achievement. So this is conditioning. Similarly, reinforcement means that in the past, maybe your aggressive behavior have always been rewarded. Okay, there was always a pleasant reward for your aggressive behavior. For example, the other person always withdrew, he always gave in front of you, so you had a positive response, you got praise from your peers or friends, so that is why you have learned this aggressive behavior. So behavioral perspective, all in all, deals with how you have learned this behavior from the environment. Cognitive perspective will be focusing on what kind of thoughts, beliefs, or memories were there that led you to behave aggressively. Okay, so cognitive perspective, all in all, deals with our different mental processes such as perceiving, remembering, reasoning, or decision making ability, or problem solving ability. And similarly, psychoanalytic perspective, as we have previously read, that it deals with it has an excessive focus on unconscious processes. So this aggressive behavior from a psychological perspective might be due to some unconscious aggressive instincts. Subjectivist perspective says that everyone has a unique way of perceiving a similar situation. For example, there is a similar event happening to two persons, but both of those persons will take different meaning out of that situation. For example, a person behaved rudely to you and your friend, but your friend didn't react at all, but what you did, you just punched him in the face. So this might be because you have a subjective opinion about that behavior. For example, you might have perceived his actions as rude, as insulting, whereas other friend of yours might not have perceived his behavior in this way. He might have said that yes, his behavior was rude, but it had something to say about his personality. It has nothing to do with me. It has not affected in any way me, but this is about his own self. If this action of his, this rude behavior of his, has everything to do with his own personality, I have nothing to do with it. but you perceived it as your insult, as a transgression against your ego, so you punched him in the face. So subjectivist perspective tries to understand what are the personal experiences and how people experience the same events in different ways. So relationship between psychological and biological perspective, this is one of another approaches. Biological perspective, if it's taken alone, it only explains biology. However, when it is combined with psychological perspective, that then and there we get the full picture. For example, we relate our biological our biology with our psychological phenomena. Then we get a complete picture of our behavior. So there is a trend of called reductionism. Reductionism means that when we try to understand our psychological phenomena in terms of biology, for example, we say that aggression, we are trying to understand aggression, and we will reduce that behavior to the brain level, to the neuron level, which is a single cell of the brain. We see that what happens in the neurons when a person behaves aggressively. So we have reduced such a broad and significant behavior to the level of a single cell. So this is called reductionism. So in past, we see that different psychological phenomena, like the phenomena of attraction, aggression, love, hatred, they have all given a particular direction to the field of research in biology. Biology itself, as I have already mentioned, cannot present the full picture of human psyche. So what are the major subfields of psychology that are currently in trend? We have already discussed the first two of these. Developmental psychology deals with what are the physical and psychological changes that take place from the birth to the death of an individual. Social psychology deals with how our behavior is influenced because of the presence of other people or because of our affiliation with a group. And similarly, personality psychology deals with the uniqueness of each individual, how nature and nurture, biology and psychology and cognition, they all merge to develop to give rise a unique human personality. And clinical and counseling psychology, you might call them practical or applied sides of psychology. Clinical psychology deals with the study of severe psychological disorders, disturbances, and also of course the treatment of those disorders. However, counseling psychology is concerned with the everyday career related problems or everyday stress related problems, academic stress, job stress, and some family issues, and those problems that cannot qualify as being to be called as psychological disorder, but still they are affecting our life in a negative way. So psychologists are there to help individuals to deal with these problems, and so this field is called counseling psychology. Then there is school and educational psychology and organizational engineering psychology, where the principles of psychology are applied to improve the efficiency of the students and also the employees at the job. Now let's have a look at what are the contemporary psychological perspectives in 21st century. So currently, the time in which we are living, what are the major trends that are currently going through? So first of them is cognitive neuroscience, where we are trying to understand our behavior or psychological phenomena by using very latest techniques of neuroscience, such as you might have heard of different techniques like CT scan, computerized tomography scan, X-rays, or fMRIs, functional magnetic resonance imaging, only magnetic resonance imaging, MRIs, or positron emission tomography, that is called PET scans. So there are different kinds of brain scans that are available that are used to have a sneak peek of what is going on inside our brain while performing different psychological activities. Evolutionary psychology is interested to find out that how humans have developed different traits or different behaviors or different psychological phenomena during the course of evolution, and how our psyche is getting changed. And it takes data from anthropology. Anthropology, which deals with the study of ancient human beings and ancient cultures, and it also takes its information from psychiatry. So cultural psychology focuses on how psychological phenomena are affected because of our cultural norms and traditions, how same psychological phenomena tend to differ in different cultures. So positive psychology is a very latest trend in the field of psychology. It focuses on the positive aspects of human beings. What are the best qualities, what are that human can express, and what are the potentials of human being. And it also focuses on the importance of positive emotions. Previously, the focus has been on studying the abnormality in human psyche, whereas positive psychology deals with studying what are the potentials, what are the growth potentials of human beings, and what are the maximum chances of growth. So this is a very indeed a very positive aspect to deal with the psyche of human being. Now we are coming towards the final section of our lecture, which is research in psychology, research methods in psychology, or how research is done in psychology. You might recall that in the definition of psychology, we said that it is the scientific study. So how to find out if something is actually a scientific study or not? I told you that there are different merits. If something fulfills that merits, then it means that it is scientifically researched and it is a scientific study. So whenever you are conducting a research, the first step is to generate a hypothesis. Hypothesis is a statement, it is a sentence or a statement, and which is testable. Such kind of statement which can be tested or which is testable. And how we develop that hypothesis, the sources of hypothesis can be our own daily observation, or it can be some previous research article that someone has done and you have studied that article. And similarly, it can also be a theory. You have studied a scientific theory and you have deduced some hypothesis from it. For example, if I say that the females in the psychology semester 1 are more stressed than the male students. So this is a hypothesis. This is a statement which has yet to be tested. Okay, and I have derived this hypothesis maybe from my own general observation, or maybe I have read some scientific theory which says that females are more prone to stress or anxiety than males. Okay, I'm not saying that it's true, I'm just giving an example. Okay, now this is a hypothesis and it needs to be tested, and we have several options that what methods, different methods we can choose to test this hypothesis. These are called different research designs. So when we test a hypothesis, it is a very useful way to advance the scientific knowledge. Scientific method is always unbiased. It does not favor anything as comparison to other. For example, if I am already biased towards females, then I cannot perform a truly scientific research. Similarly, my research should be reliable, that whenever I test this hypothesis, the results are same. Okay, whenever I test the stress level, always if the results are always the same, that means that my research was reliable. So scientific method should be reliable and it should be unbiased. So everything you see in the media, please do not assume that it is scientific and it's a scientific fact. You should know that scientific method has certain merits and certain characteristics. So we'll continue in the next